Here we go. So she has that right there. Right. Go. Alright. Oh yeah. Let's see. Favorite video games that inspire, dude. All of them. I shouldn't say all of them. That's kind of a that's a bad that's a bad example. Fighting video games a lot. So Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, Tekken, fighting video games. Guilty Gear. Holy shit, the art style that they've been doing. You know, with Arc System Works, their art style with Dragon Ball Fighters and like, I mean, is that not the best stuff? Arcane on Netflix, even though it's a anime or cartoon or animation, it's based off of that the video games. So, but typically or specifically the Netflix anime is so good. So I kind of look at that Arcane as like the future of where like animation's gonna go, but it's based off of video games, so that's dope. Well, yeah, like fighting video games, but then obviously this is all like a Bayonetta study, so I'm into like the hack and slash stuff, like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Heavenly Sword. But honestly, a lot of action stuff. If it has action, like I'm into it. I got a ton of art books that I'm constantly just kind of recycling, reading the books, and going through and studying all of it. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Arcane is super dope, man. It is a really impressive. I mean, what they were able to do. What's hmm. But yeah. So what else? I mean, like uh, God of War, that video game. I really was impressed with like the latest one. Um, this one's not. Uh, oh, duh! Can't believe I didn't say this. Metal Gear. So what's his name? Yoji Shinkawa. Man, his name's escaping me right now. But the artist that worked on the Metal Gear Gear series. He like I'm super into it. That's actually part of the reason why I'm like working with these brushes and these inks like the way that I am right now, because of like that liquid metal style that he kind of sketches with and did all the concept artwork for those games. I believe it's Yoji Shinkawa. I hope I'm not talking out of line when I'm, or getting his name wrong. But like that guy's specific style. Um, the early Final Fantasy video games, the artists that worked on them, Amano, Yoshi Amano, what's his name? Either way, it's Amano. I forget the other name. His first name or last name. I don't even know which one it is, but yeah, like that guy's work on the early Final Fantasy stuff, like 1 through 6 especially. He did work on like all the other ones as well, all the way up to like 14 at least. I don't know if he worked on 15, but like the early stuff is so crazy when it was like really high fantasy back in the 90s and all that. Like, so that guy, he's super inspirational. The hot dilf in Arcane. You talking about uh I know you're talking about. He was like the underground king before he got murked by the dude with the eye. Foxy Grandpa. Final Fantasy 4. Damn. Like all of Amano's work is kind of just blended into one into my head. So I don't know the Final Fantasy 4 design specifically, but yeah, I'll have to go back and check that out. But yeah, so the Final Fantasy games, but like I said, it's like all of them. Because I have like, I just got the books for The Last of Us 1 and 2. Um, like I just got them, so I haven't even had a chance to really go through them yet. Um, so I'm kind of looking forward to reading those and learning about those and stuff like that. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I gotta go back and watch Arcane. I was just talking to somebody about Ozark, so I was like, man, I gotta go watch Ozark too. I haven't seen the latest season yet. Plus, I'm like in the middle of watching Mad Men. I'm like in season 2 of it, so like near the end of season 2. So I'm about to get on season 3 of Mad Men. I'm still behind on a lot of shows and watching a lot of shows. Foxy Grandpa, Selco. Oh snap! A flood. That's rough, man. Yeah, that's rough. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I got a ton of books. You know, I got a lot of comic books as well. You know, depending on the artist. Like I said, I'm a big Spawn fan. I just happened to get into it when Greg Capullo was working on Spawn, so I was into the artwork, and then I got into the, you know, reading it and the story and all that other stuff. And he went on to do Batman and all these other things. So I have like the Batman run of New 52 for Greg Capullo's art. Jim Lee, I got Batman Hush, and like his X-Men raw studies, or like his raw inks of the X-Men comics that he did back a long time ago. Um, so it's like comic books also. That's actually, you know, welcome to my channel one. I work on I wrote a story, and all this at least my original concept artwork, not this study, but my concept art for my original characters, it's all gonna lead to me working on actually doing a comic for the story that I wrote. That's why I'm doing all the concept art for my characters, is so that way when I draw the comic book, you know, I have the artwork for them. And then I'm gonna animate it, because I got my degree in animation, and I just was never able to get an animation job. So I just said, screw it. I'm gonna, you know, I quit doing graphic design, and I got another job that I have to do to pay the bills. But I started doing this, and this is it, man. You know, so my whole stream, my channel, everything that I do here is just to do the concept art, then which I'm gonna be at it for years, and then do the comic book and or the manga, whatever you want to call it. So I illustrate the story that way, and then years after that, I'll actually start animating stuff. And you know, hopefully by that point, when I'm years down the line, I can quit my job, and then I could just focus on doing this stuff full time. So you know, that's the whole thing. So I'm inspired by comics, animations, video games, like all that stuff. Like, I love all the media. So yeah, I just started streaming, you know, last year, the beginning of last year. So like all this stuff is a little bit new. But yeah, man, thanks for stopping by and enjoying this stuff. I think you're right. Like, the camera being closer is definitely an improvement. I hope it's not blurry. Favorite Batman? That's a tough question. Oh, favorite Batman villain? That's easier. Clayface. Clayface is definitely my favorite Batman villain. I don't think he gets his justice. You know, I don't think anyone does him justice ever. But yeah, for sure, Clayface. I love that character. Even though he gets one-shotted often, way too often, kind of makes him a joke. I feel like if the right writer wanted to do him justice, he could actually be like a credible threat. And you know, I think he fits in with the Batman uh whatchamacallit, the Batman rogues gallery, as far as like, even if Batman does take him out, I feel like he should be able to learn and adapt, and and you know, like, get back to doing crime, and then the next time he runs into Batman, he can be a little bit better prepared. You know, instead of the one trick pony stuff, it's like Bane. Like, oh, he cuts the venom juice tube, and then Bane gets taken out. It's like, all right, how many times are you gonna let Batman cut the venom juice tube before you you know, maybe not make it a tube, make it something that's not like poking out, so Batman can't just easily cut it all the time. You know, same thing with Clayface. It's like, how many times are you gonna let him just hit you with an electric ball and then get electrocuted? You know what I mean? And then be like, oh, I can't be Clayface anymore because I got electric shocked. It's like, I feel like I said, with the right writer, he'd be a credible threat. But he's the most interesting, if you ask me. Mad Hatter. Yes, Clayface can level up. You know what I mean? Like, he's made out of clay and he can like separate pieces. So once he hits him with the electric ball, maybe he gets him the first time, you know, shame on Batman. But the second time, if Clayface gets hit with the electric ball, he doesn't just separate that from his body when the shock hits, you know? That way it just shocks a little piece of clay over there, but not the main body. It's like, come on, man. I don't know. But yeah, like, what I really would like to see in a Batman story, and I'm sure they like have some out there, is like the monsters, the freaks. Like, I like Man-Bat, Clayface, you know, Mr. Freeze, even like Ra's al Ghul. The main ones are cool too, you know, like Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, like all of them, they're cool too. Riddler. But it's like the monsters. I really like the monsters, and I don't feel like they get their just due, you know. But the Mad Hatter, man, that's interesting. The only Mad Hatter that I ever read in a comic that was interesting was in the Arkham Asylum, and he was like, you know, saying some Alice in Wonderland quotes to Batman while he was in the thing, and I think Scarecrow was in the background going crazy. I was like, okay, like, it was a cool take on Mad Hatter. Baby Doll. Who's Baby Doll? That's a Batman person? Batman character? I don't even know if I know who Baby Doll is. Huh. That's interesting. Let me do this. I want to say Baby Doll is like one of the the Card family or something like that. Yeah, I guess Scarecrow would count as a monster character also. I'd love to see him more monstrous than, you know, like the typical what he's been in like the video games and everything. Just like a guy with like needles for fingers, just hitting people with hallucinogens. Like, make him an actual, like, some sort of monster Scarecrow. Like something out of the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, it would make sense that Mad Hatter and Scarecrow are cool. Between the Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, I would say like Clayface first, Man-Bat second. I just like the whole play on words. Like, you have Batman and then Man-Bat. I think there'd be like a plenty of like good stories to tell from that. And then it's like Spider-Man. I don't even know if he's a bad guy, but I think he is because he was in a video game back in the like Super Nintendo days. Spider-Man has that man spider character or whatever his name is, where it's like literally Spider-Man but with 8 arms, or he has, well, 6 arms and then his 2 legs, so he has 8 limbs. And he's like, and he has like the fangs or the mandibles, like a spider would. So he actually looks like a man spider instead of a Spider-Man. But I forget what his name is. But he was like a bad guy in a video game. And I remember that from a long time ago, and I was like that character's so cool, and you never see him. So just a lot like Man Bat, Man Spider instead of Spider-Man. Like, I just like those monster characters. There we go. Yeah, this is fun talking about Batman stuff. Baby Doll has a pretty interesting story, but I can see why people can't go far with it. I want to see him date Hatter, is all I want. Fear and Madness. I couldn't get that spider to bite me, so I bit the spider. Fuck yeah. Exactly. What are we doing? Here we go. That. There we go. You should draw that comic, man. I guess they are a couple of guys, but maybe when you're working on your male anatomy studies, you get something decent. You can draw the, draw like a quick, Mad Hatter with a Scarecrow story. I don't know. Call it Fear and Madness. Favorite video game soundtrack? I don't have too many of those just because sadly, I don't keep up with soundtracks so much. But I'm always like blown away by Final Fantasy stuff again. All the orchestra stuff and orchestral productions and and maybe like with the horns and the trumpets and the drums and the violins and the pianos. Like, oh my god. Like, I hear in Japan they actually throw those concerts on, and I just be like, yo, it'd be so dope to go to one of those concerts. Here, let me do this. But yeah, so I mean, the most recently, I watch a lot of Maximilian dude and his playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. He paused at some moments just to stop playing the game and listen to the music. So that's why like Final Fantasy VII might be the most recent impressive soundtrack that I've heard lately. But you drawing the Mad Hatter now? Dope. Hell yeah, man. Classic of FF4. Dude, that's dope. See? So much in common, man. What are you drawing any specific Mad Hatter? Is it like the old Disney animation one, or from any particular story, or is it like the Johnny Depp? Man, Johnny Depp killed that character, yo. He like that performance in there. That's actually one of my favorite movies. I watched it a bunch. The Alice in Wonderland, the first one. I think they had a sequel. I never saw it. But yeah, like Johnny Depp's Mad Hatter. That was yeah. He was super dope. So I don't know. I never drew Mad Hatter. I did a Alice in Wonderland commission a while, some years ago at a convention. It ended up being like one of my favorite drawings just cuz like I don't know, I guess I was just on one on one that day. So, yeah, it worked out. Ah, yeah. Yeah, my skills get rusty if I don't keep up with the drawing. Even if it's for like a month, like I'll come back super rusty. Um I mean, yeah, man, you could always tag me on like Twitter or like Instagram. My name's the same on all social medias, G Mr. Drew, like the same name that I have here on Twitch. So you can find me there and then just shoot me a picture if you want, man. But yeah, I'd love to see it because Mad Hatter's he's an interesting character, man. Hell yeah, man. I think you can shoot me a DM me a picture on Instagram. Should be able to do that if you want. You know, no pressure, of course. But yeah, no worries. Like I get super anxious just streaming, to be honest. Like to be on here doing this, like it takes a lot of energy. I mean, I've been doing it for like a year only. So it's like I'm kind of getting okay with it. But like it gets a little daunting sometimes to just put myself out there to show off. Go. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's one of the benefits of this study is just really loosening up and drawing all these things. Honestly, my favorite thing to do is just the line work. Just to draw like this right here. That's like, what I get a lot of joy out of when I'm doing all this inking. I'm like, don't ruin it. Don't mess it up. I appreciate it, honestly. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Here we go. But yeah, I won't be going anywhere. So my name will stay the same whenever you know, whenever you get an account going. And if you ever want to, I'll be there. All the good usernames are taken. Maybe. Yeah, they'll probably have to like set up a new thing where it's like if a name isn't used, they'll probably like deactivate it or something. Who knows? Or people will probably sell them like how they do websites these days. You know, like somebody will buy a URL name and then they have to sell it. Like they'll buy Coca-Cola.com and then Coca-Cola goes to get a website and they're like, oh, it's already taken. Oh, see if you could buy it from them. And they'll be like, how much for Coca-Cola.com? And they'll be like, I want $1 billion. And then they're, you know, like, hey, we're Coca-Cola. We'll pay you $1 billion for the name. Like that's a little overkill, but you know what I meant. Know what I'm saying? Oh, come on. Forgot this spot. What time is it? Oh, it's only 3:30. Yeah, so that'll probably be the future of like usernames and all that stuff. If like